matches that go too long, failed special effects, and nary a resolution in sight. Now that's what I call wrestling. Hey there, sports fans. My name is Kit Parsons, also known as professional wrestler Magnum CK, and this is Now That's What I Call Wrestling, the good, bad wrestling show. If you're just joining us, we are knee deep, ankle deep. Wait, that's reverse it. We're hip deep. We're down in it, down on the farm in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
World Wrestling Empire.
1995, the year of our Lord, and we are getting back to react to the act. Shun. This is now our 10th episode covering the World Wrestling Empire, the real WWE. If we can be honest with ourselves, the real WWE is the World Wrestling Empire, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1995. There's been a lot happening. We've had tag team titles stripped from the champions. We now have that tournament still ongoing, which is just kind of a month-long. Tag teams wrestle each other, and then they decide who the champions are, I guess, apparently. We have conflict between commentator Devlin Blanchard and referee Doug McCoy, guy, that was an honest, legitimate accident. Doug McCoy, my apologies to you and your family and your dog. I don't need to waste any more time. If there's anything else we need to catch up on, we'll catch up as we go. We're all friends here. We've had a couple diversions. We've had a couple distractions from the action, but now it's time to hop back in to Tulsa. Hop back into the World Wrestling Empire. It's now time to give a reaction to the action.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a reaction to the action of the World Wrestling Empire! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm The Ledge with my co-host, Devlin Blanchard.
What? Did you miss something there?
I'm supposed to say Prince or formerly Prince. I don't know, something like that.
Slug.
You know, I admire the Military Express. Those guys have got a lot of guts. They've really improved in the two matches that we've seen them in.
Hey, they haven't. The Military Express have not improved. And as a matter of fact, they should not be in this ring. And they should be where they belong, which is like the 8th or 9th grade. It is absolutely insane. So like, just to like recontextualize things, because it's been a few weeks, the WWE, we've entered into what we call the dip. So not from Roger Rabbit, but like the dip on like a graph, like if you're looking at a graph. We started out with some fun momentum. WWE was going strong. We had all this fun stuff going on. And then the ring broke one time, and that was kind of like the peak. And now it's been like, man, we lost a bunch of talent, and we have to put these young boys in the ring, and nobody knows what's going on. There's no real finish to any match. Everything's a disqualification, and we're just taking belts away from people for no good reason and just having tournaments kind of. But we have to push through the dip. There's plenty of good stuff in the dip. Don't get me wrong. For our purposes, the dip is great. Like, that's fine. But we're looking at just creatively, it's rough right now. It's a sad state of affairs in Tulsa for professional wrestling.
And that one guy, he just loves pain. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anybody get beat up and laugh about it. Amazing.
I love the cover for the one member of the Military Express who is smiling in the ring, because this is all a big joke, because it's probably like his buddies from the football team are in the crowd, and it's like a joke.
Because Bone Crusher Bobby Burns is an excessively large individual.
I also love that the announcer's like, doesn't know anyone's name. He's like, yeah, man, these guys have been great. They've been improving so much. Like the Military Express, they've come a long way. And, you know, the one guy, I mean, both of them, you know, like both gentlemen, both young, both sports fans are great. But there's one of them, you know which one. He's like, he loves it. He's just, you know, he's really sticking out as like, you know the one?
Of course, then at the end of the night, we got Scott Summers is going to take on Leopard Man, which should be an awesome match.
Hey, it won't be. And listen, I love, don't ever get it twisted up. I love the World Wrestling Empire. I can tell you with no irony, no winking on this one. It's my favorite wrestling. World Wrestling Empire is my favorite. Unironically, my favorite. Maybe that says a lot about me. I don't know. But I love it. But I have to tell you, Scotty Summers versus Leopardman's not great. It's not great. It's too long. Every one of these matches, except for maybe one, is too long. And you don't have to watch it all. I have to watch it all. I'll just show you the dumb things that happen in it. But it's too long. Matches don't have to be 20 minutes long, especially at this level.
Twice in legal minute?
But I want to say that, and I want everyone to know that. World Wrestling Empire, if anybody ever comes out and says, like, wow, he's making fun of these guys, yeah, maybe, kind of, I don't know. I'm reacting to the action here, okay? But I love it. When this is over, I've already thought that I will probably cry. When I run out of World Wrestling Empire episodes, you will see a grown man cry on this episode.
Yeah, and also tonight we're going to hear from Brett Knight in an interview. We're going to hear from Bone Crusher Bobby Burns, and he's got something really interesting to say, so you better take heed and listen. And somebody else with a belt better listen to what Mr. Burns has got to say.
Any other minutia you want to tell us we're going to hear about, like tonight? Tonight, I'm going to talk about, it wasn't this week. I think it was last week. I had to go to the bank, and there was just like this weirdo guy. Like, we're going to hear about that later tonight. Price of gas has gone up like 7 or 8 cents. What's up with that? We're going to hear about that later tonight. I had some errands to run, and like anybody else, like just really not enjoy going to the post office. Like it's like, what's going on down there? We're going to hear about that a little later on too.
I'm standing here with Brett Knight.
Brett Knight, if you put the letter S in front of Hitman, you have exactly my feelings about Brett Knight.
And his manager, Silverado, who seem to have a few things to say to us. Now, I understand there's been a little change in Annihilator's plans on his tag team partner. Well,
which member of the Road Warriors was Silverado again?
I understand there's been a little change in Annihilator's plans on his tag team partner.
Well, I just want to tell everybody out there that Annihilator has made no change in plans. He still plans on tagging with Brett Knight, but Brett Knight is much more capable of taking the light heavyweight championship.
Don't take the mic away from the announcer, because then what's the point? Like if you grab the microphone away from the person who's interviewing you, I don't know why they're there. It's a weird thing to like set up a premise that's immediately negated by the other guy. Like I don't know what the story is here. He's like, yeah, I heard you guys not going to be tagging with that guy anymore. Oh no, he is actually gonna be. So don't know where you heard that. Okay, back to you. Like, awesome, guys. Cool. How much does TV time cost? I know it's probably public. It's channel 9 or something in Tulsa. So, I mean, somebody's paying for this.
Than anybody in our camp right now. So that's his prime directive, is to take the belt from Shane Cortez.
We've got Dark Silverado here. We know that's not what his voice sounds like, and I'm starting to get concerned. I think that he's going to do some permanent damage to himself here. Gravelly, just really digging deep under the sediment and then like getting into that real gravelly. You know, bad guys don't have to sound like the bad guy from Inspector Gadget.
Next time, Gadget. I promise I'll get you next time.
Like you can just be like, hey, I'm just a real dickhead here. Like I could be a bad guy and just sound and be like, hey, I'm gonna screw you out of that one, bud. Like it's fine.
Okay, now I understand you guys have mentioned something about the 30-day rule. Are you trying to use this to force Shane Cortez into a match?
The 30-day rule actually is you are not allowed to wash your tights, knee pads, or any undergarments that you wear in a wrestling ring for 30 days at a time. At least that's what I would gather by the likely smell of the locker room.
Mr. Shane Cortez. All right.
Here's the thing. If you're gonna take the microphone away from the announcer, it better mean something, and you'd better have some charisma. And Mr. Brett Shitman Knight, you ain't got it. You don't have it, buddy. Brett Knight looks like his step sister is in a secret battle with Vecna or something. Like Brett Knight looks like the teenager who was a lifeguard, but for like 2 years too long and was like too much older than the other lifeguards, and it was a little uncomfortable, and they had to kind of ask him to politely move down the road to like Shake Shack or whatever. It's time to advance, Brett Knight. It's time to advance your career to the Jiffy Lube, if you don't mind. The close-ups on these tag team belts are rough, man. They look like those commemorative plates, like when Dale Earnhardt died or something. The tag team titles honestly look like they're cut out of like a piece of sheet metal. Like they might be. The only thing worse than the tag team titles are that Party City crown that the Prince Blanchard wears, that's prominently displayed on his purple tarp.
And trying to enforce that 30-day rule.
And he is going to make it happen tonight. He gets his shot at Shane Cortez tonight, and I've got a lot of faith in Brett Knight.
I think that, I don't know, Shane Cortez is a tough competitor. Well, I'll tell you, why don't you talk about the first match?
I will.
Kind of a weird like golf channel vibe we got going on here. Doesn't exactly fit the vibe for wrestling, where it's like we got these sweaty guys yelling in and then to the camera, and then we go back to the announcers and they're like, all right, now Brett Knight is going to line up a championship here with Shane Cortez, and really you got to watch because, you know, he's added a couple strokes backstage, and I don't even know what that means. I don't know golf. I don't know. I know what a stroke is in golf. I don't know what the joke was I was trying to make there. I don't know. I'm not confident enough in my golf abilities. That joke attempt was the grabbing the microphone away from the announcer version of doing this show. So my apologies. I don't apologize to golfers, though, because I feel like you're either probably doing just fine or your life's falling apart. So good for you.
Dirty Dan Wilder. His best friend is Pain.
That's true. It's true that Regular Dan's best friend is Pain, because Regular Dan's best friend is Dirty Dan. And if you're confused about the names, I got their names wrong in the first episode, so that's just how we say them now. Also, I have done a little research into the Texas Outlaws, which is not a joke. And I have found several people who said that the Texas Outlaws just beat the shit out of them in the ring. But they had also a weird deference toward them, like, yeah, you know, they used to kick my ass, but like they taught me everything. They taught me everything I know about this business. And it's just really hard to wrap your mind around that one, because I feel like if the Texas Outlaws taught you everything you know about this business, I wouldn't say you'd have a lot of knowledge on how to be a successful pro wrestler, but you probably have a lot of insight into how to take as many craps as you can while on the clock still at your job. I feel like the Texas Outlaws probably have a lot of experience and a lot of insight. If I had to guess, they have a bold strategy for that.
And he will be facing a man that just made its debut here in the Empire a short time ago, Lightning Lenny. Man is quick, he's fast, and he's a high flyer.
He's quick and fast. Hey, bud, just write some stuff down. Just write down some words. Write down some adjectives.
Look at the adjective. Play.
I like the guy getting the ring jackets because he looks like an orderly at like back in the day when they would have like psych wards or whatever, like the dudes, all the big like kind of burly guys all dressed in white. Maybe that's what's going on here. Is it possible this is like some sort of rec league at like a mental ward in the 90s? Were those still around in the 90s? It's not worth looking up, but let's just assume that that's a possibility.
Lightning Lenny, of course, is a high flyer. He's a quick man. Dirty Dan Wilder is a mad wrestler. Lightning Lenny is an aerial wrestler. So we're going to have two different styles in the ring here.
Lightning Lenny gets exactly 9 seconds of music and not a moment more.
Tag match, and Lightning Lenny fared relatively well.
Lightning Lenny, very good wrestler. Look forward to seeing this guy get.
Ledge takes off to do the announcements and comes back and is just like way too hot on the mic. He's like, Lightning Lenny, you sit back here talking about Lightning Lenny? Hell yeah, man, bro. I love Lightning Lenny. He did 2 matches. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Lightning Lenny, bro. It's so interesting. Lightning Lenny. He's such an interesting.
In tonight, it'd be kind of interesting to see how Dirty Dan Wilder does one-on-one. Not quite used to the individual competition, but the Outlaws have been so.
Lightning Lenny may or may not have broken both of his ankles just now jumping into the ring.
Competition, but
What happened with Lightning Lenny? Like, he took like a really fake hip lift to the face and then just like acted like his whole, like, he just acted like he lost it all in the stock market and was down on the ground, like banging on the floor. Is it possible that regular Dan, we know that Leopard Man has the loaded mask. We've heard about people having the loaded boot. Is it possible that regular Dan has a loaded pocket? Loaded jean pocket? Here's why regular Dan's one of my least favorites. He doesn't seem to have any problem trying to hurt people for real, but anytime he has to take a move, he looks like he's absolutely petrified. I know guys like this, like current day, where it's like everything they do is just like a big sack of potatoes. And if you ever look at pictures, every time you're about to do a move to them, they're like, "Oh, good." Not my favorite. I'm glad you don't have to watch this whole match because there are, I think, 3 matches, if I remember right. 2 of which are just like 4 times longer than they need to be. And this is one of them. I mean, it's unfortunate that the Texas Outlaws have such a prominent place in World Wrestling Empire because they are just so boring. I mean, even Glenn DeWeese, the director here, keeps cutting to the crowd and then coming back so that he can cut out the stalling and the nonsense. And there's definitely a place for that in wrestling, but this is like a TV taping, man. Like, get to it. Do something. Do one of your bad moves that you made up, okay? Like a DDT with your knees. We can only hope that we get to see that tonight. Otherwise, I'm not going to go find the clip and show you. If you haven't seen it before, you're just going to have to imagine what a DDT with your knees would be like, okay? And also, they just did a really good monkey flip, and I'm sad that it looked so good. This is a hard job.
Bone Crusher Bobby Burns there complaining to Dog McCoy. But Lightning Lenny had the hair, and Lenny goes out over the top rope.
I looked there for a second like Lightning Lenny was headed for both of the Outlaws.
It's kind of perfect that nothing happens and then nothing also keeps happening. And then Lightning Lenny does tease something exciting, jumping out of the ring onto somebody, but then it's like, nah, not today, pal. That's a little too much entertainment for my taste, all right? Take it easy.
Meanwhile, referee Doug McCoy is ordering the hold broken. Lightning Lenny's able to reverse it, sends Dirty Dan Wilder into the turnbuckles and misses.
Dude, regular Dan sucks so much. I love this kind of like that corner to corner, a little loop-de-loop turn around to make sure the guy's still back there or whatever. Reminds me of something that happened one time, and like almost 20 years ago, probably. There were some local wrestlers where I first started wrestling who would fit right in here. And one of them, he had a guy in a headlock, right? And there's a crowd there. There's like 100 people there. And the guy works him back to the ropes, and the guy in the headlock says something to him and shoots him off to the ropes. Well, dude was hard of hearing in this ear. So when he shot across the ring, as he was running toward the opposite ropes, he turned back and said, "What did you say?" I think that's what just happened here.
Slow and more methodical, not as quite high impact.
Looks like right now like Dirty Dan Wilder's tactics are to take a chunk of leg out of Lightning Lenny.
Maybe he didn't get to eat before he came out tonight.
So I make the joke all the time about wrestling my cousin in comparison to these moves, but that sequence honestly looked like 2 9-year-olds trying to pin each other in the basement. Like, that sequence was like when my cousin and I couldn't agree on who was going to win. And so we're like, well, I guess we'll just see who the best pro wrestler is. And we would just be like trying to hold each other down back and forth. That's what just happened, except these are professionals on television.
To push him into the ropes now. Big whip and a nice shoulder.
The goal in wrestling when you're slamming someone or being slammed is to try to get one big sound. But regular Dan has just defied every law of physics and gravity and whatever the science of sound is, and somehow managed to create the same number of noises as a moist burlap sack full of about 15 pipe wrenches falling to the canvas. Like so bad it's impressive.
To push him into the ropes now. Big whip. The emotions of these wrestlers when they're in the ring. Oh.
I think it's time to play one of our favorite games, which is What Move Will He Do? Now, we have our resident dirty Dan's on the outside. Regular Dan whipping off Lightning Lenny. What possible move could he be doing? Is he going to A, stand there because there's a miscommunication and they just bump into each other? B, a clothesline. C, Regular Dan trips for no reason while Lenny is on his way back to him. Or D, didn't call anything to his opponent and just tries to hurry up and really quick do something because, oh God, we're out of time. Lock in your answers now. Lock them in. What move will he do?
Oh,
Big forearm right to the chops of Lightning Lenny.
Yeah, big fake elbow. D is the correct answer. There was very clearly no communication there, and he just freaked out and had to do something. And so he decided the best course of action, you know, he's a pro. We can question his decision-making all he wants, but he, you know, it's a reason why he's making all this money. And he decided that just missing an elbow on the hard camera side was the best course of action, and we'll see how that plays out for him.
now.
Oh, here it comes. Oh, right into the mat. That was kind of like Dirty Dan says, Lenny, meet Matt. Matt, meet Lenny.
Hey, stop. Hey, Devlin, stop. Just like what? Like that's like honeymooners. You know, like address the ball.
Hello, boy.
Hey, Devlin, come here, bud. Sometimes you just have nothing to say, and all the time, that's okay.
Oh, no, he's back up. He's all right.
You know, we don't try to overdo this game, but it is time for another round of What Move Will He Do? Once again, this is the game where someone's whipping someone off the ropes, and we have to decide what move they're going to do. Once again, we have Regular Dan whipping Lightning Lenny off the ropes. We've seen the elbow miss. We still have the clothesline still in play, but it's your job to figure out what move will he do. A clothesline. Let's just get it out of the way, all right? B, goes back to the bad missing elbow one more time. Definitely possible. C, Lightning Lenny hangs onto the ropes and they both stare at each other because no one knows what to do. Or D, he once again didn't call anything and just ends up kind of hugging his opponent for an awkward moment. Lock it in. Lock it in. Lock in your answers right now. It's time to find out what move will he do.
I think Lightning Lenny's very upset about the proceedings up to this point.
Yeah, the old whip-off hug. Watch out. Not even a bear hug. Listen, a bear hug's a wrestling hold. That wasn't even. That was the side, like, yeah, good to see you, man. That's the person you don't really like as much as everybody else, so you give him kind of the side hug, like, yeah, see you.
You know, if Dirty Dan manages to get back into the ring, I would think that after that we will see a pin very shortly.
Oh, I hope we see a pin. Please, let's just see a pin really shortly. I want a long pin very shortly. So, Dirty Dan holds the leg on the outside, and of course, the cameraman misses it. That's what was happening here. So, I don't know that we've had just a clean finish in a long time now. With the exception of Shane Cortez winning the belt, I don't think we've had a clean finish. No, that doesn't even count. So, once again, those dirty, rotten Texas Outlaws. We should have seen it coming. They call themselves Outlaws. They're not the Texas Nice Guys.
Coming in first with a combined total weight of 478 pounds. You know them as Renegade and Predator.
You know them as? Like, I like reserve you know them as for when they have a tag team name. Like, you know them as Renegade and Predator is nothing. Like, that's just what their wrestling names are. I have notes. I have notes for everybody.
They are escorted to the ring by flamboyant Flamin' Raymond.
Hey, how many names does he get? How many adjectives does he get? Flamboyant Flamin' Raymond. I say that's not enough. I say go for it. I say if you don't have 10, 12, 15 adjectives in front of your name, who even are you? Who even are you?
When Shane, Juan Valdez, Cortez, Felipe Pedro, Kaboomba.
Oh boy. I'm not sure that that's as racist as it is just unclever. Like, I don't know. That'd be like if I came out and they're like, oh, here comes Kit Randy, Gary, Travis, Braden, Caden, Aiden, Jaden. Am I right? It's like, all right. You just said a bunch of like white guy names. Like, cool, man. I'm not trying to have like the hey, cool, man reaction to everything that's going on, but like, cool, man. Hey.
Predator, good to see him back after the chain match last week against Cortez Gomez, Felipe Pedro.
I will find the chain match. I will find the chain match. If I have to drive, if I have to fly to Tulsa and drive to the Ledge's house and get the master tapes, I will find the chain match. It's all that I want. It's all that I want.
The introductions of their opponents.
I want to tell all you stupid, idiotic people out there in TV land, this is pretty crappy. You make us wrestle these military expense boys. We're going to make them, all they are is an expense to you people out there in TV land. They're the military expense. All right, ladies.
Wow, buddy. Wow. Don't grab the mic if you don't have anything to say. And also, just have something to say, bud. Like, these military expense boys. So 3 different times he calls them military expense boys. I don't even know what that means. Military expense as in like the tax dollars pay their salaries, I guess. So are we to believe that the military express are active duty right now, and as part of their military duties, they've been sent down to Tulsa, to the World Wrestling Empire, to go against Renegade and from Singapore Predator? Then yeah, I do have a problem with that. If that's how we're using our tax dollars. If that's true, flamboyant, Flamin' Raymond, then yeah, I guess you're right. I guess, hey, flamboyant, Flamin' Raymond, I guess we have something in common after all. Aside from our mutual love of windbreakers.
Ladies and gentlemen, their opponents this evening, from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, with a combined total weight of 420 pounds, the Military Express.
Digging deep on that military. Just like a clown noise. I don't know what that means, but that, like, if I say that it's like clown style, that fits, right? I mean, it doesn't have to make sense for that to make sense.
Sergeant Dumbo and Sergeant Gooberhead of the Military Express.
Sergeant Dumbo and Sergeant Gooberhead. Just try. Like, you knew you were going to be here talking about these guys. Just try. Get a notebook and carry it around with you and have some ideas. Like, I'm not even trying to make fun of anyone. I just really want you to do better.
Look at these 2 guys. Man, these guys are so ugly. If they sit in a cat box, if they sit in a sandbox, a cat would bury them.
Great work, buddy. Oh, man. These guys are so ugly. You know, if they had a seat in a sandwich, these are such ugly guys that if they ever went to Sandals, Jamaica, if these guys are so ugly, if they ever went to Sandusky, the cats would bury them in it.
I got lost somewhere in there. I'm overwhelmed by their ugliness. This guy, Sergeant Hecubus over here, whatever his name is.
Sergeant Hecubus? Sergeant Hecubus, I don't remember their names. It's not Hecubus. It's like Sergeant Todd and Master Lieutenant Greg or something. Sergeant Hecubus? Sergeant Hecubus was like my 3rd Dungeons and Dragons character, but like I was 12, okay?
Sergeant Todd and Sergeant Harmon?
You know, I was going to say when these guys sit in the sandbox, the cat tries to bury them up, but I misspoke and said that they sit in the cat box, but of course that's what guys like them would do.
So dude messes up his joke, and then instead of dumping out of it, tries to explain his way out of it, but then gets away from it, and several minutes later goes back to try to justify it again. That's the level of professional pettiness that we need if we want this program to succeed. So back on the right track, buddy. Hey, Military Express, tuck your shirts in. Tuck them in, boys. Tuck them in. Tuck them in. Just tuck them in. I know I sound like the shift lead manager, assistant to the shift lead manager. Tuck them in. Tuck them in or tuck her out. You know what I mean? Time to lean, time to clean. Come in untucked. Go and get toasty. What were we going for? Was that supposed to be lockup? Like what kind of like one up, one down? Like, I said it last time. Military Express, they do not belong in this ring, and from Singapore Predator is probably going to hurt them permanently.
Starters, I would be smart enough never to get in the ring with Annihilator.
Raymond, the
Karate, baby. Listen, they didn't teach you that at Fort Bragg, little boy. They didn't teach you how to take from Singapore karate. They didn't teach you how to take karate to the face all the way from Singapore Predator. Okay? With your little boot camp. You might have had boot camp. You didn't have karate shoe camp. Those little soft shoes karate boys wear. Good luck.
Flamboyant one. How are you?
All these people are, these two Military Express and whatever, all they are is Girl Scouts. They're not Boy Scouts, they're Girl Scouts.
Cool, man. He thought about that all day and he just remembered it, and now it's like so good that he said it, and he said it twice real quick because you didn't get the reaction you wanted, so you say it again. I spent a lot of time in comedy, and I've studied and worked with a lot of comedy legends. And Dave Pasquazi and TJ Jagodowski once told me
in a workshop intensive
that the worst thing you can do is tell a joke and then it bomb, and then you'd be like,
clearly they didn't hear my clever joke. Let me say it again.
The worst thing you can do is eat shit and say it again. So Raymond, if you're out there, I would love to share some of my notes from my various workshops and intensives if you're interested in, I don't know, becoming a middle, lower level comedian such as myself.
Girl Scouts, he says, Ledge.
Well, enough of the insults. I like these guys. I think they show a lot of guts. And
why is it an insult to call him a Girl Scout? Like, I'm not even trying to make some kind of like point or whatever, but like, why is that an insult? I don't get it. So they're not just Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. Oh, I don't insult them like that. Jesus, man. What the hell? Listen, I got 2 daughters. I guarantee you both of them, well, at least one of them, could kick the shit out of both of the Military Express combined. At least one of them.
Renegade, we've missed it, haven't we, Ledge?
Well, some people maybe have.
That's a yes or no question.
So Sergeant Todd runs around the outside of the ring, and from Singapore Predator just like steals his soul from his body, and he just dies on the apron. Hey, you're in there with the big boys now. Now you're playing with the big boys. Look at the adjective.
1, 2, 3, now we're playing with the big boys.
Predator looking to be in good form. Predator's still a little bit upset about that loss of the light heavyweight belt, though.
Well, he ought to be. And it looks like he's taking his frustration out on Sergeant Gomer and Lieutenant Goober, whatever their names are.
Subject Gomer and Lieutenant Goober? Hey, Devlin, you're trying, man. You're trying. That was a really good try you did. Next time we'll try even harder. But that was you're really growing.
Not pretty easy to get along with.
Watch this.
Right now, the Military Express is having a little trouble getting along with Renegade.
Yeah, lethal, almost lethal. like, dude didn't jump at all, and very easily could have broken his neck. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. We gotta get these guys out of here. You know who could take that suplex better than the Military Express? A Girl Scout.
Renegade has a few words with your friend, referee Doug McCoy. Oh, look at this!
Comes over, hits Raymond once, and then Raymond's soul just like leaves his body and floats up out of the arena. He just lays there dead sideways after one awful punch from Sergeant Heckman.
Military Express in a lot of trouble right now. Oh, and referee Doug McCoy has ordered the bell ring.
There's Renegade belly to belly.
Renegade goes in after
2, 3.
What a just absolute mess of a finish. I mean, every one of From Singapore Predator's matches ends in some kind of disqualification where he just grabs the Singapore cane and just starts hitting someone. I don't know that we've ever seen like a clean finish in any of his matches. That was just messy. It was totally messy. It didn't make any sense.
I'm standing in the midst of the Texas Outlaws, who recently pulled me aside and said they had a little bit of an announcement to make. What's this all about?
My hope is that Dirty Dan is going to announce his retirement from wrestling.
I hope.
So go ahead and get your hopes way, way up.
I tell you what, the WWE has ripped us off so many times, I've had it. So I'm going after the heavyweight belt. That belt is going to be mine. And Doug McCoy, you get in my way, you scrawny little runt. You done ripped us off from the tag team belts, and you're going to Fish City, bro.
You're going to Fish City? I think I'd go to Fish City. I love a good fish and chips. I like a good fish sandwich. That doesn't sound so bad, Fish City. I bet you could buy Girl Scout cookies outside of Fish City.
And Beast, you better be ready. You better be ready, because I'm coming at you, both fists, both feet, and in a flame of fury.
What is that? What was the pose we got here from Regular Dan where he's like, dude on the left is like, you better be ready, and he's like, yeah, big old Santa belly. Like what? I caught a fish that was this big. I got a big old pot of gumbo. Like what could he be signifying there? Like, yeah, I got a hula hoop that goes around this wide.
Oh, Bone Crusher Bobby Burns wants that belt he wants Beast's belt. I can't believe the guy's going after Beast.
I don't make a lot of threats on this show. I make just a regular amount of threats on this show. But here's a big one. If Dirty Dan wins the heavyweight championship, we just have to be done. Like I can't think of anything worse than that. Aside from Dirty Dan, aside from this just becoming the Dirty Dan show, and he just comes out and hosts the whole thing and talks the whole time, there's nothing worse than that. That's unfathomable. But him winning the heavyweight championship would have to be the end. We have to be done. And I'll just upload a video every Monday morning about golf. I'll just learn about golf and just talk about it. I'm not going to go and play golf. Or do you play golf? I'm not going to go and do golf. I'm not going to go and do golf. I'm not going to golfing. I'm not going to go do golfing. That's what the show will be. Now that's what I call doing golfing.
And the third man in the ring, referee Doug McCoy.
Doug McCoy sounds like one of those junior high jokes. Like, have you heard of ligma? Like, oh man, the guy's got ligma. Like, oh dude, man, why is Craig not in class today? Like, oh dude, you didn't hear? Guy's got Dougma. Dougma? What's Dougma? Doug McCoy. He's got Doug McCoy. He's got Doug McCoy. Dougma. Hey, what's up, dog?
Okay. I've been informed that Leopard Man is 205 pounds and is interested in the light heavyweight belt.
Oh, just saying it doesn't make it true. I mean, none of this, it's all made up. I mean, this is the whose line is it anyway points. It just doesn't matter. I mean, wrestling belts are the equivalent of points in an improv game. It's just made up. It doesn't mean anything. But I love just declaring that this guy who's very clearly not 205 pounds just is declaring his interest in the championship. It's a shrewd move because it plants the seeds, right? The people now crave it. Because that's master manipulation. He's planted the seed in everyone's mind, and now there's a tree growing in there, and that tree weighs 205 pounds.
Wait a minute. Who is this coming to the ring with Scott Summers? Unless I am mistaken, that is Colonel Tom Parman. What is he doing back in the World Wrestling Empire? I thought Viper the Diaper was with these guys. Oh, that is Viper the Diaper.
Oh.
Looks an awful lot like Colonel Tom Parman.
Hey, real good work, Devlin. Hey, Devlin. I know you're trying really hard, sweetie. And you've come up with some really fun things today, and you've been trying to say some, you've been really trying to branch out and take some of the advice that we've been giving you. But you may or may not have just for no reason spoiled something for later. And you may. It's weird that you would think that person, it's weird that you would not know what's going on, and that this is why, remember when we said that we should be paying attention backstage when we talked about who's going to come out with who, and that some guy's going to come out later as a surprise, and maybe you should just wait? Remember? And you didn't want to wait, but we said that you should wait because it don't want to make much sense for TV if you don't wait. Well, now you've ruined the surprise later. And now it's ruined. I know. It's okay. But you've ruined the surprise for everybody later now. All we can do is do better next time, okay, bud?
5 minutes later.
At this point.
Wait a minute. Now I see Colonel Tom Parman.
Oh,
so
there
the
he
rumors
is.
are true. He is in the house.
Tom Parman is in the building. All right.
Cool, man. What like an iceberg way to introduce somebody. Like, it would have made more sense if he came out in the beginning during the entrance, but like now for no reason he just wanders off, no music, no introduction, just wanders out onto the set and says like, "Hey guys, I'm here. Like, sorry I was in the bathroom. They didn't tell me y'all started the match yet." Someone we don't know, and someone we've been watching, I don't know, like about 6 months of World Wrestling Empire television. Never been mentioned once, so great.
You hear that? These guys, the Southern Express, need all the help they can get. What's next? They're going to get an order from
Nice move by Scott Summers. Kick out on about 2.5.
Are they going to have to get an order from President Hillary Clinton?
Oh my God, it's 1995. Ledge is pulling out the Hillary Clinton. Oh my God. Hey, I once commented that the Confederate, more than once, I've commented that the Confederate flag is a stupid thing to carry around to a wrestling ring or just in general. And someone told me I should stop being so political. Stop being so political. Devlin Blanchard just called Bill Clinton Billary, okay? Okay, dude from Canada who gave me shit about saying that the Confederate flag is racist and bullshit. What now? Am I supposed to cut it out? I bet you don't have a problem with him calling Bill Clinton Billary as much as you would with someone carrying a racist flag around. Hey, buddy. Hey, little buddy. Just do better, bud, okay? Just go ahead and be your best self, or at least, at the very least, just go off to the Canadian woods and live there and stop bothering everybody.
To give them the titles, I mean, these guys are bringing in Viper. They brought in Colonel Tom Parquet, or whatever his name is.
Devlin, Colonel Tom Parquet, that's not that bad. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but that's pretty good, buddy. You see, if you just listen and you try to take notes and just try to do a little better every time, buddy, go get a snack. You've earned it. Go get a juice box and a snack, bud. Can you write your name on the board and put a check? You get one check mark for today.
Trouble! Scott Summers just body slammed Leopard Man on the concrete. Oh! Leopard Man going to work on Scott Summers.
McCoy calling for the bell.
No! Referee Doug McCoy stopped the match. He's going over to try to break up the wrestlers.
Weird, another match with the non-finish. It seems like that's just what we do now, all the time.
Third man in the ring. The referee. Oh, we have Steve Hartley coming out, the Atomic Playboy.
I like it. Let me tell you something, Sledge. It's the Atomic Playboy, Steve Hartley. You got it?
Yeah, he does got it because he just literally said that exactly before he took the microphone. Also, what's an Atomic Playboy? What's an Atomic Playboy? An Atomic Playboy is like when you find those like burned books and magazines in Fallout. Is that if I found an Atomic Playboy, it would be like an old burned up Playboy magazine from before the war?
The Atomic Playboy, Steve Hartley, my good friend and special referee.
So wait. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. So dude in the ring, Ledge says your name exactly right. So then you grab the microphone and say, No. Hey, get it right. My name is exactly what you said. Okay? And then hand the microphone back. That's not exactly making progress toward anything, which is exactly the type of progress we're looking for. Gold star.
Brett Knight, who had tagged with Annihilator a short time ago, escorted to the ring by Silverado.
Julian.
The high-flying Shane Cortez!
Juan Valdez.
It's got to be exciting. Like, if you're a fan at a live show and you sit through the show hoping for a wrestler to come out, and then at the very end of the show, an actual wrestler finally does, that would be exciting.
Finally, fair and impartial officiating.
Oh, nice move by Shane Cortez. Oh, good takeover. Oh, nice dive. Drop. Shane Cortez.
Look, these guys are just doing too many moves that are executed adequately. It's just it's unfortunate to see a match where there's an exciting back and forth of maneuvers that are executed in a fairly safe and interesting and proper manner. So I want to apologize to my audience. I'm going to cut out as much of that as possible, and we're going to do our best to bring you the product that you came here for.
Was that like an eye gouge? Whoa, Frankensteiner by Cortez! Unbelievable!
Hey, Shane Cortez, stop it. What do you think this is? What do you think this is, a wrestling show? Enough. Enough hot dogging, enough showboating, enough Frankensteining. Okay? Get in there and fall down by accident. All right? Get in and trip on something, will you? Can you do that for me? Look, I just want to say, I know that this is nothing new that they're doing, but I actually do love it. I love the referee, like, finding reasons to get distracted so he doesn't see, you know, the cheating going on. Even if Silverado gave the world's most delicate stomps on the outside there. The referee tying his shoe, talking to people at ringside. It's just, I love it. I hate to see that I love the Atomic Playboy. Jason Hervey, whatever his name was.
Insult to your grandma.
That's an insult.
Irish whip right there.
Travesty that is occurring in the ring right here tonight.
I do again. I know I've said it a couple times. I want to apologize to my people, my viewers. There's just not a lot of bad moves in this one, and I know that's what you came here for. I'm doing my best. If I could do something differently, it would be that I would try to, you know, use AI to doctor this footage to make it look like it was worse than it actually is. But this is probably the best match, aside from all the stalling from Bret Knight. This is probably the best match that's happened in World Wrestling World Wrestling. Don't say that. World Wrestling Empire history. So, in bringing you probably the best match in WWE history, I just want to apologize and say that it'll never happen again.
Chance at a fair match. So finally, we're getting a fair one, and Cortez ain't doing too well, is he?
Big belly-to-belly suplex. Bret Knight in a superior position over Shane Cortez.
That was the belly-to-belly suplex. That's Bret's forte move.
Shane Cortez able to tangle up into the ropes.
That's it. We got a new champion right there.
What the hell happened? Like, what was all that? We had a really rough kind of jackknife style belly-to-belly suplex, and then just some kind of like slapping around, slap fighting, playing around, touching the ref, grabbing. Like, I know they're trying to do the angle of like, oh my God, they screwed him out of the belt, but like, they didn't even do that right. So now we had all that good wrestling, decent wrestling. Don't say it's not good wrestling. We had that decent wrestling. And now we're right back on track. See, that's the dip, man. You got to get through the dip, and now we're riding high again. So thank you for staying tuned.
There's no way that this will be allowed to stand. Referee Doug McCoy has entered the ring now. Looks like he's going to get involved with what's going on.
I don't know what's going on here.
Referee Doug McCoy says no pin. He's obviously telling Steve Harley there's no pin going on.
Doug McCoy, God, that's honestly an accident. Doug McCoy, Doug McCoy is out of control. He just came out and changed the winner of that match. He's taking people's titles away. He's changing other referees' decisions. I know that's the angle, but he's drunk with power. There's too much money. We've talked about there's too much money involved in WWE. It's corrupting everybody. Speaking of, where's his belt? Where's Shane Cortez's belt? They keep talking about he's a champion. There is a belt. It's just he just doesn't have one.
Decision.
Oh, I think that's pretty obvious to everybody but you,
I just
Devlin
about had
Blanchard.
all I can take of Doug McCoy.
Hey, now they're going after Doug McCoy.
Hold on. What? Devlin Blanchard was at ringside. We know he hates Doug McCoy, but as he was getting into the ring, his voice was still... We can still hear his voice as if he's back at the commentary table.
All I can take of Doug McCoy. Hey.
Is Devlin Blanchard a ventriloquist?
They're sizing each other up in the middle of the ring. These two guys have been going after for weeks and weeks now.
Dude, what in the hell is going on? He like plays with a lighter, then can't get it lit, And it's just like, yeah, and like we can see the whole point of the fireball is like you're kind of concealing how you're doing it, and this fireball comes out of nowhere. So he just takes flash paper and stands there and holds it, and then waits like a 9 Mississippi, and then just very clearly finally lights the lighter and just throws it at the guy, misses by a mile. It's what we expect.
Devlin Blanchard just throws a fireball at referee Doug McCoy. Doug McCoy's chasing him out of the ring with that chair. Unbelievable. Devlin Blanchard ethically has no business getting in.
Devlin Blanchard's like, see, I took my stepdad's lighter again. Take it away from me again, Todd. Try it.
Unbelievable. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a short break and get all this sorted out. Maybe get Devlin Blanchard. I don't know. This is nuts.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And we don't even get, the show goes long because of all that mishigas at the end with the fire and touching a lighter, which don't do that at home, kids. I know there are a lot of kids tuned into this program to see the hot action of the World Wrestling Empire. Don't take your stepdad's lighter. Don't throw flash paper at anybody with it. And also don't become a local wrestling commentator, no matter how much money and fame you think you might get. Because look how you can turn out. Look how it corrupts. Look what money does to people. Just take a look at that screen. Does that look like a happy guy to you? Just say no. We don't even get an ending to the show. They went so long with all that, so nothing happens. We just get a commercial where we do get, and again, I promise you, I'll find it. I'm gonna find it. We do get a little clip on a commercial from the dog collar match, the chain match. And oh my God, it's everything I want. It's everything I need. Matches with no endings, referees drunk with power and out of control, and grown men acting like 7th graders playing with lighters on television. Now that's what I call wrestling.
Don't have a cow, man.